Yes, what's happening, people? And welcome back to GavGoesIn. So just carrying on our Nxt Gen 50, this player, to be fair, wasn't originally in my list, but someone that was spoken about by one of my mods in my on my channel, and that's 16-year-old Azzedine Ouzane, Moroccan as well. And with Moroccan ballers, Moroccans, Algerians, these guys are just born footballers, a lot of these guys, highly technical players. And Azzedine Ouzane looks like the next one as well. Obviously being chased by Real Madrid, which is no surprise there. As we know, Real Madrid's model, chasing the best young players in the game. And from what I've seen of Ouzane, I think definitely he's got very high potential. And if you've got the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona chasing you at that age, you're very much going to be on your way to stardom, because these clubs don't really miss when it comes to talents like this, of that age. And as I said, from what I've seen of him, he reminds me, and people might disagree with this, but he reminds me of a young Zidane in terms of his balance, his passing, his vision, and from what I've seen of him, he looks special. Again, the physicality isn't there, which is obvious. He's only 16, so he's still got to obviously grow into a man's body. But from what I'm seeing of him, his technical attributes, already at that age is very high. Him coming to Real Madrid for me, for me, obviously he'll be going on loan, and obviously he's got to try and, make his own career in a sense. He's got to try and prove his loan spells, because I think he'll be coming into the Castilla team to start with, in my opinion, and then probably loaned out. I'll be very surprised if Real Madrid sign him straight to the first team, because Real Madrid don't really put 16-year-olds in their lineups. You look at someone like Endrick. I think Endrick's 17, I think, and even though although Endrick has played games for Real Madrid, he's not a starter. But what's mad as well, actually, is that another player that I done the Nxt Gen 50 on, Franco Mastantuono, he's going to Real Madrid now, and Madrid are just getting these young players sorted out for the next generation. Because you think Mastantuono, left-footed attacking midfielder, he's 17. If they get Azzedine Ouzane, he's 16, right-footed attacking midfielder. For me, it makes me laugh, because they've still got Arda Güler, Brahim Diaz, although both players are slightly older, what's going to happen to them? Because are they bringing in Mastantuono and Ouzane to replace these guys, so they can flip them from a lot of money? And if that's the case, that's good business, really, because you're getting two players for less money in Mastantuono and Ouzane. And if they're looking at them as replacing Güler and Brahim Diaz, we can get money for them. As I said, man, that's not a bad way to go. Although I do think Arda Güler definitely is one of the best young players in Europe, and why he's not playing regularly, I don't really understand, But yeah, Ouzane, man, he looks very good to me, As I said, I do think the physicality will become an issue. But again, he's only 16, so that's to be expected. So the fact that he's going to the Spanish league as well, which we all know, isn't about physicality, he could be. He could do well there. I think if he came to the Premier League, I think it might be a bit of a different game for him. I'm not saying that he can't handle it, but I think especially in this league, he's very physical, and a lot of teams will just want to be roughing you up if you're that type of silky player, and maybe he might be on the end of some tackles if he was to come to this league. But I think him going to Spain, I think is probably best for his development. Obviously still at Ajax as well. I'm not sure if he's in Ajax's first team. He might actually be in their first team squad. I'm not too sure, but definitely I think this is a player to watch out for. And I think the comparisons, as I said, with Zidane, I don't think they're far-fetched. I think looking at him from what I've seen, Zidane had very good balance, good passing, short and long, higher technical player as well. You know, he's not blessed with pace really, from what I've seen. But I think in terms of his technical attributes, you know, he's someone that, you know, will go far if he's nurtured the right way. And as I say, from what I've seen of him, he does look special. So you can see why Madrid are chasing him, and it's looking like they're the front runners for him. I haven't seen no other clubs being linked with Ouzane, but I think for sure, man, he is someone that's going to be talked about in the future. Because as I say, Moroccan ballers, you know, Algerians, these guys always go to, you know, to the top clubs, the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona's, you know, Bayern Munich's, these kind of clubs. These players always end up there, and the fact that Ouzane is looking like he's going to Real Madrid, you know, it's another one off that production line. And as I said, he could be, you know, probably the finest, you would say. So we'll have to wait and see, man. But yeah, someone that I thought I had to add in, you know, probably the youngest on this list as well at 16. But someone with a huge future, you would think as well. So, but guys, yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you think it's a good move, Ouzane moving to Real Madrid, or do you think he should stay at Ajax for a few more seasons and learn his trade there? Do you think the comparisons with Zidane are fair? You know, let me know. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, give me your comments, guys. Big up yourselves. Take it easy.